Hello, everyone, and welcome to United Unravelled. We are here today to discuss a short topic but a very, very important one for all the Manchester United fans concerned. It is the future of Manchester United. It is basically when should Ole be announced as the permanent Manchester United manager. So, before we start here, let me tell you I'm kind of intentionally skipping the question of whether Ole should be the next Manchester United manager because uh, if you look at in general what the fans are talking, it's clear more than 90-95% of the fans want Ole as the next manager, and rightly so. That's my feeling as well, that Ole has shown enough in every department possible to prove that he's worth the next Manchester United manager. He's worth to be given the chance. We have already given enough chances to some experienced big names and it hasn't worked out. But with limited resources, what Ole has done, he has shown he can get us playing a good quality football. He can put a belief in the players that they are very talented players and they are worthy of champions. He has shown that with limited resources, he can bring out the best from the players. Even the reserves team, with what we have seen in last 3 to 4 matches, it's also shown that he is tactically good. I mean, can set up teams differently against different opponents, whether it is big teams or even lower ranked teams. And I mean, what else do you need? He has shown he will give youth a chance. He has shown he will always have a positive approach. I mean, no matter what, he's always confident that the 11 he's putting is good enough to win the match, and that puts confidence in defense and attack. And yeah, one more thing. So he has improved our defense drastically from whatever we had, which was very heavily criticized before. He has improved the defensive organization a lot. I mean, what else do you need? So yeah, most of us want Ole as the manager. There are few of them can still have the opinion that Pochettino or someone else, Laurent Blanc or Zidane, might be the right one. But yeah, do like the video if you also feel that Ole should be our next manager. Now coming back to, if assuming he is the choice and assuming the board have already made the choice, just not announced, when should they announce it and when should he be signing the contract? So recently, after the PSG game, we heard Gary Neville speaking that after the Wolves FA Cup game, we have a winter break for 2 weeks, and the Monday after the game should be when Ole should be announced. So there is 2 weeks of time where the focus is away from the football matches and it's on Ole, and where the players also have enough time to process it and let it sink in. Okay, I mean, first thing, yeah, it's a good option. That's a valid option. But so Ole has been doing exceptionally well, and it is like covering a lot of cracks that we have in the entire football structure as a whole. And I am of the opinion that we shouldn't be rushing into giving Ole the contract so soon. I am pretty firm about the fact that Ole should be the next Manchester United manager, but we don't have to announce it right now. Now, I have a few reasons. And we'll discuss that. But before that, Gary Neville we are all great fans of Gary Neville. He's amongst the most passionate Manchester United players, and now as a fan, and he has good analysis as a pundit. But what I've noticed and what I don't like is he, in such situations, especially managerial situations, in last few months we have seen, he gives very strong opinions which influences the fans, which I think influences even the board in making a decision. Like uh, like before the Newcastle game in October, when there were reports that Jose is going to be sacked, he came out and said that he, completely ranted against the board, supported Jose Mourinho to the, to the best, and he also said the fans will completely turn against the board and things like that. And basically, we ended up not sacking him, and I think that is where he influenced the decision. Then in December, when we sacked Jose Mourinho, and there were reports that we are mostly going to appoint a caretaker manager until the end of the season. He was laughing basically, like, what is the board doing? How is that going to work out? And stuff like that. And then obviously we brought on Ole, and he had to support because it's Ole, his teammate, and he wants good for Manchester United, but it turned out great. Now yeah, 2 weeks back he was telling if Ole is not appointed, it will be a mutiny amongst the fans and they will be up against the board. And I mean, he doesn't have to influence. Now he's telling that that is the time we should appoint Ole as the manager. I mean, he influences a lot of things, and I don't like. I mean, we have a board. we want the board to make decisions. We want a right football structure in place before Ole is appointed, and we don't want a pundit or a legend to be influencing so much from outside. I mean, if Gary Neville is a part of a football structure at Manchester United, I would be very happy, and it's okay then if he influences the board. But from outside, I think he shouldn't be influencing so much. And it's such strong opinion that fans also, too involved and too passionate. Like this will happen if he doesn't do it, and if the board doesn't do it. And I'm really happy that when Jose Mourinho was sacked, it was done very secretly and very quick. Because like during the Newcastle game, if the report would have come out a day before, maybe Gary Neville would have had another rant against the board, and we might have not sacked him. And yeah, I mean he was a very strong supporter of Jose Mourinho at that time. Yeah, I agree. Board has a lot of problems. The recruitment and all has been bad, but Jose Mourinho was a big part of the problem as well, which Gary Neville maybe didn't accept as much. So yeah, I agree. I am a fan of Gary Neville, but at times he gives very strong opinions about what the board should be doing next, and he gets fans on one side, and that basically influences the board decision. I don't really like that happening. I want our board to be strong enough to take the decisions on their own and not have to listen to any pundit, be it Gary Neville or anyone else. Yeah, so one thing we need not be carried away with the fact is, though Ole has done well, we want our football structure is a mess. Our recruitments are bad. So when Ole comes into the picture, we want him to be coming in with a long-term vision, and that is a vision that we don't want Ed Woodward and Ole to be discussing. We want a proper director of football in place that approves Ole as the manager based on what Ole has done so far. Anyone would, I think. Anyone anyone looking at the performances will rarely say otherwise. But we want Ole to discuss the future of the football with a director of football and not Ed Woodward. And we want Ole to come in with, for the right reasons, with the right plan in mind for next, let's say, 3 to 4 years, and in terms not only in terms of how we want to develop the football club as a whole, youth players and the style of play, but also as how much investment we need. And we want Ole and the director of football to agree on it ahead of recruitment, to be along with that. We don't want Ed Woodward saying, okay, I'll give you 200 million, okay, I will do this and that. But we want a proper structure in place before Ole is appointed. So I know Ole is performing exceptionally well, and we are all crazy. I mean, these are some of the best times I've had as a Manchester United fan in the last 6-7 years. But that shouldn't, put us over the fact that a director of football is still needed for Manchester United. Just because Ole is doing exceptionally well with very limited resources doesn't mean we don't need a DOF. We need a director of football. We need a proper structure, and we want them to appoint Ole with the right amount of discussion and the future planning for the club. I really don't want Ed Woodward to be doing that. So yeah, appointing Ole before a director of football is, in my view, not the right thing. I think maybe we still have 2 months of time to appoint a director of football, and then somewhere in May we can, as soon as the season finishes, whatever is the rank in table, whatever happens in Champions League and FA Cup, we should still appoint Ole as the manager, is what is my view. But that gives us time to appoint a DOF. That the DOF gets some time to organize things, to have a plan himself, and there are people who are saying if we appoint Ole in May, our plans for the next season are impacted. But let me tell you one thing: as a interim manager, Ole is already planning with Ed Woodward for the next season as an interim manager, what players to keep, what not to keep, what players should we go for, and pre-season and stuff like that. I don't think that is going to change. And one important factor is, we are going very well, and with this rate we might get fourth even comfortably. And and even if it's announced in the international break, I think it's Manchester United. The focus is huge, the scrutiny is huge, because after that announcement, though some might think it will calm down in 2 weeks, it won't. It's a new Manchester United manager then. He will now be judged as a permanent Manchester United manager, not as an interim. And I don't want there to be so much distraction. His first game as a permanent Manchester United manager will be judged. There will be a lot of questions on his management, and I don't want that to affect our performance. I mean, it can go either ways, but why take a risk when everything is going so smooth? I mean, we are so close to achieving fourth. Why do you want to take a risk and derail it it might not get derailed, but why take a risk? Let's get something out of this season, which we thought was a waste. We thought we would be out of Champions League, fourth place wasn't reachable, and FA Cup maybe, who knows? But now all of them are possible. So why take a risk? Let's wait till the end of the season. And I know Ole is gonna do his best. He's even after that he's gonna do his best. But who knows? The players can get distracted. So let the things go. Appoint a DOF side by side. Let him discuss the future with Ole for the next 3-4 years, not just this transfer season. Next 3-4 years, and then appoint him in May. And I don't think any of the next season plans are going to be affected. And the DOF will appoint him for the right seasons with the right strategy in place. With neither of us trust Ed Woodward to have a long-term football strategy for Manchester United, right? So that is my view. We should still wait till May, no matter what happens, no matter whether we go to the semi-final of Champions League or the final of Champions League, or whether we go third in Premier League. No matter what, we should still appoint a DF, get the football structure right in place, then appoint Ole at the end of the season, as soon as the season is finished, so that we avoid distraction and get something out of the season. Like the video, if you also share the views, do let me know in the comments of what your views are. I mean, it's a very interesting topic and everyone can have their own views. And subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you everyone.